so tired. I'm tired of going to the same boring job, spinning around in my creaky office chair, hearing Samuel type on the other side of the cubicle wall with more force than's ever necessary. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of doing the same old job. I'm tired of staring at my computer screen all day, coming up with different ways to say, I hope this email finds you well. Sick of it. And every day I come home at 5:27 p.m. on the dot. And at 5:15 p.m. on Fridays as my boss offers, oh, y'all work so hard this week. Oh, you can all go home. Get on out of here early. Yeah, we all know that he can't leave until everyone else is out of the office. I come home and I sit in another chair. All I do is sit. Well, it's different from my gray wheelie chair, but one I sit in just as much. I stare at yet another screen. At least it's a larger screen. I turn on my TV and onto some sort of YouTube commentary video on a movie that I never even knew existed, or old episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or MASH, I don't know. Something I've seen about 100 times. I don't get up from my spot till I realize it's probably an appropriate time to go eat some dinner. I open up my fridge and I find I don't even have anything. And I don't even have the energy to make anything into a meal anyhow. I open my cupboard, which is full of cans of soup. I say I'll eat, and you know what? I just never do. Chips, there's chips. Mac and cheese. When I don't like any of those options, I sit back in the warm ass indent that I made in the polyester couch, and I open the DoorDash app and tip my driver and await my mildly warm Thai food or my Chipotle bowl. Or I could have made that myself for half the price, but I don't give a damn. I eat until I should, save the leftovers for the next day, get ready for bed. It's the same every day. Every day. Almost. I share a cozy cubicle wall with Heather, who is somebody that somehow works the same job as the rest of us, but has hobbies that proves that she gets money from other avenues. She certainly enjoys shoving it into everyone's faces with her new customized keyboard that she paid someone to put together for, and her gym membership to a place that offers hot lavender towels after a hot yoga. Oh, and there's pictures of her sunset views off of her several-acre plot of grassy land that is taken care of by people she hires. And I wouldn't be so bothered about it if she didn't make it her entire personality. I don't really care what other people get up to, as long as they're not assholes about it, but she makes a point of letting everyone know about all those wonderful things she experiences in her life. It makes zero sense where she gets all that money from. And every time people joke about it with her, she just brushes everybody off. Oh, another designer bag, huh, Heather? Must have gotten a bonus that I didn't hear about. Oh, Stephanie, you just stop now, Heather would say, holding on to her bag with a poor attempt at hiding it. Now, I wouldn't say it was close to Heather. I wouldn't say I was her friend or nothing like that at all. We would talk and share weekend stories, and we'd talk about the newest trend in Netflix documentary, but nothing more. I mean, she was a person that I could talk with at work, but I can't imagine hanging out with her after work. I have no idea what we would even talk about. Now, one day, though, Heather, she asked about the shirt that I was wearing. It was a loose, thin overshirt that was long in the torso and arms and had little designs on the sleeves. And it was the first time that I even wore it to work. And she said, "Where'd you get that? That's so cute." "Oh, thank you," I said. I bought it online. "Oh, I love it." She smiled broadly and she wheeled herself back and in front of her computer. It was a nice compliment. I loved the shirt too. Not 10 seconds later, she wheeled herself back over to me. "Hey, what are you going to be doing after work today?" she asked. Probably just go home. Going home to my TV and my ordering in, my ascendant. Would you like to go grab some drinks after work or go do something? We've never hung out before. Well, I'm not one to make no plans on the fly. My routine is boring, yes, but it's exactly that. It's a routine. And I don't like messing that up. Maybe. I thought of any excuse that I could get out of it, but I came up short. Nothing seemed realistic. It's Thursday night, and I don't have kids, and I don't have a pet to get home to. And, I'm free every day, really. Well, if you want to, you just let me know, okay? I've heard of this really cute place over by the river. It could be really fun to go try something new. She pulled herself back to her desk and typed away at her soft, rich, milky, clicking keyboard. I turned back to my screen and I stared at the open draft of an email. It could be fun to try something new. Something new. It's not often a fun thing for me. It kind of stresses me out, really. It's my worst nightmare when I think I make one-on-one plans with a close friend and it turns out that they invited their other friend and that friend invited their other friend and I didn't sign up to meet a whole bunch of strangers. I signed up to talk to you, someone that I know. What about those horrible ideas of being with someone you don't know very well? What if Heather and I get drinks and it's really awkward? What if she doesn't tip the bartender? What if we have such an awful time that every day I go to work from now on and have to endure some awkward tension at my desk every day for the unforeseeable future? I don't know if it's worth all that. I should just tell her that I'd forgotten that I'd already had a plan. Or reschedule for some time next week and then never set an official date and then the offer becomes forgotten. I just want to go home. But go home and do what? See the same episode of a show that ended years ago? eat the same expensive takeout by myself because I didn't want to mess up my routine just for one afternoon? Well, when 5 o'clock rolled around, Heather gave me the location of the place she wanted to try. When I told her I was down to get some drinks, why, she squealed and excitedly looked up the address to send it to me. Whoever told her the place was cute was right. It had nice outdoor seating and tables dotted around the half-shaded and half-in-the-sun patio with quirky little salt and pepper shakers on each little table. It was adorable. Heather and I, we ordered some Chardonnay, and I just, it sounds so good to have some Chardonnay. I wanted to fit in. This interaction can go as smoothly as possible if I'm exactly who she wants me to be. And I guess that she would like someone like me. We sit down, we start to chat about things that we normally chat about at work, but with a much nicer scenery. The expense reports, the crazy meeting that Carly walked out of the other week, and Samuel's insufferable loud typing. It should be illegal to type that loudly, I said. Oh, I agree, she said as she slammed her hand down on the table. It's ridiculous. I don't know how his keyboard isn't all broken to pieces. That's why I got a milky sounding one. At least everyone can hear one keyboard that sounds nice. Her fancy customized keyboard. She loves that thing, along with anything else she buys new and flashy. It is nice to listen to, I said, sipping on my wine. I wish I had ordered a cocktail. Where'd you get it from? Oh, it's just a website online. I found that it sells these gorgeous custom mechanical keyboards. I asked for a free sample and they gave me one. And she said this as she sipped her light yellow wine and looked out at the water. What do you mean that they gave you one? You didn't even have to buy it? Oh, God, no! They're insanely expensive. They gave it to me. Well, I don't understand. How can someone just ask for something expensive for free and be given it? I thought that treatment was safe for celebrities or influencers. You're looking at me like I'm insane, Heather said with a smirk over her glass. Well, come on, I said after a moment. How do you just get these things like that for free? Are you famous or something? No, not famous. You want to know my secret? I stare at her. She's extremely smug expression on her face right now. Her eyes, they squinted and her mouth was in a half smile. I have no idea what this secret could be other than something that I might not be comfortable with. Fine. I'll just show you. I've been dying to share this with someone. She reaches into her designer clutch and she pulls out a small Ziploc bag. Drugs? Is she pulling out drugs at a restaurant? What? Are you allowed? Wait, stop. Relax, Heather said. It's not drugs. I bought it off a TikTok shop. I immediately relaxed my shoulders. She bought it on a public app. Well, it can't be that bad. She opened her opaque little bag and she pulled out what looked like a little white crystal, partly opaque and see-through in parts, and it fit into the palm of her hand and was barely thicker and shorter than her thumb. A rock? I say. Oh no, it's not just a rock, she scoffs. It's a very powerful gem. She looked deeply at her palm. She seemed very serious about it. Now, I'm not particularly a believer in anything that I can't immediately observe. I mean, ghosts, heaven, magic rocks, can't be proven. So how can I know they exist? Have you ever seen those TikTok lives where those women, they sift through big vats of rocks and gems trying to sell them? It's such a specific description, and yet I had seen those. These people are sitting in front of huge bowls of rocks and gems, and they're cycling through, moving and vibrating sand and through a sifter, and they're talking loudly at the camera, and they're reading comments and mentioning the users that bought a bundle of random rocks and showing them what types they are and what they're getting, and there are wild TikTok lives out there. Weirdly enough, I've seen those, right? So I'm watching one a few months ago. We're not thinking much of it. And I stopped scrolling and started lurking to see what was going on. And I thought, why not? I'll just buy a bag of random rocks. But this one, she held up the white jagged gem closer to her face. This one was special. I felt it as soon as I took it out of the packaging. There's no way. What do you feel? I asked. I felt like everything was suddenly perfect. That I could get whatever I wanted, and all I had to do was ask. An involuntary chuckle came out of me that I tried to stop. It sounded more like a snort or a weird throat clearing. She insisted that I should hold the rock to feel it, and I tried to politely decline this, but I'm not much of an actor, and I don't know. I don't think she would believe me if I tried to fake some kind of feeling. I wanted to give her what she wanted, but me holding this rock would not help this friendship. This can be her thing, and I can admire it from afar, but she wouldn't let up. She basically shoved that gem into my hand and made me close my fingers around it. The warmth from her palm transferred to mine as I held it, and I felt something. I felt like everything turned suddenly right. Like I just stepped into a day where everything goes as smoothly as possible, hitting every green light, plugging in the cord into my phone to recharge it, and doing it right the very first time without looking, and every single movement and purpose. Oh man, I lands and sticks it like I'm supposed to. I look up at Heather. Eyes. I see her eyes. Smile wide. Then, the next few horrific things happened. It was so quick. So quick they happened. They were almost simultaneous. I saw behind her someone walking very quickly toward our table, and before I was able to say anything, Heather's red designer bag was snatched from her chair, and then he was gone. Heather sat, mouth agape, eyebrows tightly knit. Before she could even speak, something fell from the awning above, and it landed with a loud splash. The guacamole in between us. Somehow all that spillage landed in a wide array all over Heather's face and shirt and hair, while I was left unscathed, as if I wasn't sitting at the table at all. Heather's eyes suddenly became pricked with red. Standing out from the green spattered on her face and hair, her eyes were looking at me, and they got so red, so blood red, covering her irises and pupils until a void of red was left. Her eyes began to drip. Red streams ran from the corners of her eyes down her cheeks, pooling within the avocado and tomato mash. She screamed. Hands scraping her eyes, painfully slapping and mixing the red with the green. Her screams followed her as she fell to the ground, crying and pleading and thrashing. She fell still, face down, screams silenced. I heard my own screams and felt my legs standing, scrambling back, unable to understand the horror. My hand landed on my chest, trying to stop it from heaving and pounding from my heart. I looked around and no one noticed. The table next to us, they were sipping their drinks and eating their cheese. The waiter, he stepped over Heather's body like it was a crack in the concrete. Was I there? Had I been taken somewhere else? To a nightmare? My mind, it registered the warm gem still clutched tightly in my hand, and I looked at it, glistening from my sweat. I looked back at Heather. No, that wasn't me, was it? The gem, as if speaking in my mind, forced me to take it in. It never let it go. Never, ever let it go. And said, use me, use me. I threw the gem. I had to get it away from me, far away, that evil destroyer. It landed at a man in a gray suit. He picked it up. I felt wetness on my cheeks and went to wipe it away, only to see red on my fingertips.